took a service learning trip down to New Orleans. We performed a lot of service activities down there. We worked at a recycling center in the city, worked at some food pantries, at an urban garden. We did some wetland restoration. We worked on a ranch for rescued animals, horses and other livestock who had been brought in from starvation or abuse or neglect. As we were working with the people there, it renewed our hope as we saw them gain energy from us, from bringing our work and our interest to them. And that in turn increased our interest and our enthusiasm in helping them as well. So we sort of fed off of each other as we worked together to help rebuild. We heard so many inspiring stories from people who had left the city after Hurricane Katrina and then come back to just find devastation everywhere. We heard stories from people who had stayed in the city and helped with the immediate rescue efforts that were being done. During my trip, I learned what it means to rebuild a community, and that's not just rebuilding a house or rebuilding a building or a park, but rebuilding lives.
My experience in New Orleans was the most heartwarming trip I've ever been on. It really showed me that help is always needed in any crisis. I felt proud that I could help people that were struggling during this disaster. It may have been 7 years later, but people still need the help, and I was glad to give it to them. My experience in New Orleans really showed me that in any crisis, people welcomes you and really appreciate your help that you give them. And although that I have barriers of my own, I was glad that even the littlest help that I could give really showed people that there's good in this world. And going on this trip really inspired me to help people even more than I do now, even if it's the smallest help I can give.
It was very intriguing going down there to help people. I learned a lot about the different, the meaning behind the town of New Orleans, and the Mardi Gras, the beads that we made, that we sorted, was for a very good event that keeps the hope and faith in the people. The trip to New Orleans was exciting but sorrowful. Exciting to help survivors, and sorrowful to see the lives hit by it. To know that we did something to help change sorrow into hope was very touching to my heart. I heard stories of victims of Katrina and victims of our government that saddened my belief in our nation, but not lost hope for our nation. I believe when we keep trying, we have hope, and when we have hope, we have a purpose for living. But in everything that happened, all the events, were very heartwarming, and it really changed a lot in me spiritually.